Hi, Ask an RC here, and in this video we're going to go over the inside look of the video that came out a little bit newer than the other breakdown I did before with the All Hands magazine one. Now the All Hands one was, I said before, it was tame. Wasn't scripted or anything like that, but they definitely were told, hey, you can't curse, or there was definitely, it was cut more so that it was a little more tame, so it wasn't as scary. But this one for the Insider Business is way more intense. They definitely, at the very least, allow them to curse. So maybe not so much a shock and awe, but they're more so just how you would actually expect it to go. So let's get into it.
Get off my deck now! Get off my deck now! 1, 2, 3. 19 messages. 1, 2, 3.
This division of U.S. Navy recruits is in week 3 of their 10-week boot camp.
Get him up, Holcomb. It's supposed to hurt. Down!
They're enduring what's known as an intensive training exercise, or ITE session.
Push-ups.
So one thing I noticed right away is this is a Master Chief. Now, I have seen a Master Chief on push. The entire 3.5 years I was there, it was one Master Chief, though. Could have been others I obviously didn't see, but it was only one, and he was in my brother div, and got along really well. It was actually really cool to be able to push with the Master Chief. But usually when you see Master Chiefs, they're like the Fleet Master Chiefs, so they're like in charge of multiple barracks or multiple ships, if you will. That's what we call the barracks. So it's not normal, but most chiefs that I see, or most people even come to be RDCs, want to be an RDC because it's actually pretty rewarding and fun. But yeah, I just thought that was very interesting that he was a Master Chief here.
Get there.
It lasts for about 40 minutes without a break.
Up position.
So they're talking about the last 40 minutes. So ITE sessions, there's certain rules to them, where you can just do like 1 or 2 or 3 exercises. But if you do a full ITE session, it's the full card. Those rules on those change about once a year about what's considered an ITE session, what do you need to do for an ITE session. But yeah, if you do the full division, the full card, it's a full session. And yeah, it takes about 45 minutes to get through the whole card. Just because the exercises take a long time to go through. There's that many exercises, and definitely 5 exercises in, because not all of these people are going to be the most fit sailors or recruits. They struggle, and you make them earn every single rep. But the whole point of ITE isn't to cause suffering or pain. The whole point is to motivate. If there's lack of motivation, not moving quick enough, well, a few exercises will keep you in shape to make sure and keep it in your mind, like, I don't want to do that anymore. Or, hey, I'm not performing, and it's obvious that I'm purposely not performing. All right, well, hey, get a little motivation in. Well, the whole point is motivation, and besides, it's a workout, so it's a win-win situation either way. You're going to get in better shape, and you're going to be incentivized to be more motivated.
I told you yesterday I was going to get mine. Y'all been pissing me off for a week. Between not working together, thinking this is a joke, and it's not. You arguing, not wanting to step up to lead. You either lead or you follow. That's simple. Stop with this individuality.
I love this dude's face because you could tell he is upset. He's either upset that he's being ITE'd and it's probably not his fault, or he's upset that he's being ITE'd and he's being videotaped while it happens. But either way, even if there wasn't a camera, you're going to have some people that just have this look on their face like, oh my gosh, I wish I wasn't being IT'd right now. And then other people that look like this, like, oh, I'm just so upset. And both of those, while I was an RDC, motivated me to motivate that recruit some more. It's more so, don't take an emotional response. None of this is personal. It's you messed up. You're being judged on your actions. You didn't do something. You didn't want to do something. You failed to do something. Well, here's a little motivation to keep on doing it. There's no hate involved or emotional response. We don't hate you. We don't like you. RDCs are not your friends, but there's no, in a sense, of emotional attachment like that. We're not doing it out of anger or spite or anything like that. We're here to train you and to make sure that you are ready to go into the fleet, become a basically trained, physically fit sailor. So, what simple as that, really. There's no actual emotion involved.
And work as a team.
It takes everyone a little bit, I think, to realize the big message. We are one family, we are one team. There are no more individuals. ITE is not fun. It's to help you remember what you did wrong so that you don't do it again.
We had enough? Yes, sir. No,
Maybe. It's not necessarily to make sure you remember what you did wrong. It's to show you that you did wrong. Here's some motivation so you don't do it again. I get it. I'm not really, it sounds like I'm mincing words, but really what it is, it's a motivational tool. It's not a punishment. It's more a sense of it's a reward. It's you continue to fail, you're going to get attention. And it's not like you're being physically attacked or harmed. You're getting a workout in. I mean, people pay for this stuff.
We have it.
This is Navy Boot Camp. Every year, more than 40,000 recruits graduate before becoming sailors and officially joining the fleet. It happens here at Recruit Training Command Great Lakes, located about 35 miles north of Chicago.
There actually used to be, for a long time, three training commands. There was one in California near San Diego, and then you got here the one in Great Lakes, and then there was one in Florida. And it used to depend on if you're male or female, and also what your rate was going to be. If you're going to be an airman, most airmen went down to Florida actually. But in the early 90s, they shut them down, the one on the east and west coast, and put it centralized. It's at RTC Great Lakes, and also made it so males and females could go to that one. But a little history buff. A lot of people don't know that. Got to meet some people that went to the Florida one. Pretty good stories.
RTC Great Lakes is the only boot camp for enlisted U.S. Navy sailors.
Who's going to a submarine? Yeah. Why?
More money?
More money? Absolutely, 100%.
Base pay for enlisted sailors is about $22,000 a year.
So it really depends. There is base, so you have multiple pays, and I break this down in another video, and I'll put it up in the tag right here. But you got base pay, which is just your normal paycheck, and that depends on your pay grade. And then if you have dependents, or if you're high enough pay grade, you get BAH, or basic allowance for housing, and that depends on your pay grade and if you have dependents and where you are. So, basic allowance for housing is like rent money, or if you end up buying a house to pay for your mortgage. So in California, it's going to be pretty high because the cost of living in California is high. But if you go to Virginia, it's going to be pretty low because the cost of living in Virginia is pretty low. So it really depends. You get bonuses, incentives, BAS as well, basic allowance for sustenance, which is like food money. If you're on a ship, they take most of that. If you're not on a ship, you keep it all, because then you're eating on the ship, so they take it. If you're not on a ship, then you keep it because you got to use it so you can buy your own food. So you actually get subsidized for a lot of things. So if you keep that in mind, if you're getting BAH, BAS, and your base pay, your BAH and BAS pays for your living expenses, to include electricity and gas, water, and then also you get money for food, and then on top of that you get your paycheck. So it's a little more, and the good part is your base pay is the only part that's taxed. But if you get a bonus, that's taxed, but your allowances aren't taxed. So your BAH and your BAS aren't taxed. But anyway, like I said, I have that linked up in the top panel at the beginning of the statement. It's in my channel as well, that breaks it down in depth and also shows you the website to do that. But let's get back to the video.
Sailors commit to actively serve for at least 4 to 6 years, depending on their.
It's 4 to 6 because it depends on your rate. So if you just have a basic contract, it's 4 years. But some rates, you have to go to a lot of schools. Like sometimes, like mine, ended up being 1.5 years of school. So they want 4 years of you in the fleet. So if you have a lot of schools, they add 2 more years, and it's in your contract. It's not like it's a surprise. They'll tell you this is a 6-year contract because of the rate you chose.
Their specialty or rate.
There is no special skills required prior to signing that commitment. We were able to take any civilian off the street and transform them into a smartly disciplined, physically fit, basically trained sailor.
So I agree and disagree with that statement. If that were true, everyone would graduate. But everything at boot camp is designed for you to succeed. If you need time, extra attention, you'll ASMO you back, spend you more time at boot camp, which sounds terrible. But if you really, really want to be there, but you just weren't physically fit, but you're killing everything else, they'll put you in a special division to continuously PT until you can pass the PFA. If you are struggling with keeping up with everyone, whether it be just learning the stuff or understanding why things are, there's a special division for that too. If you're 100% motivated and you give it 100% and show them that you want that, they'll be like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll just give you extra time. But sadly, there's people who go there and they just don't want to be there, or they literally just cannot get right. And I say that, but I'm pretty sure in the back of their head they decided this isn't for me, so they purposely fail things. And that's just a bad way to go, because being processed out from the Navy, especially from boot camp and SEPs, is the worst. It's not fun. It's extremely boring. It takes forever because of paperwork. So no, not everyone's going to graduate. But yes, they have the tools and the materials and the people to help you succeed if all you want to do is succeed. So agree and disagree.
Boot camp begins with the night of arrival.
Let's go! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Buses driving from O'Hare Airport bring about 100 new recruits to the recruit-in processing facility.
Let's go!
So it's O'Hare Airport. If you fly in, everyone flies into the O'Hare Airport, and there's a USO there. And you will sit there, even if you arrive early in the day, you're chilling there all day. And it's a USO. You'll be dropped out. You'll be told specifically to go there. They got chairs, they got couches, they got some TV going, and it's ran by the people that are usually Navy veterans, or at least the very least Navy supporters. And they'll give you a talk. They'll let you know, hey, just the last pep talk before you go. Really good people, super nice. Make sure you're super respectful to them. They're not going to yell at you. They're retired. They're civilians, or like I said, they're Navy supporters. But if you're local, they will drive you in the middle of the day. And then, yeah, you'll just be you'll get processed by the day crew. It's usually like 10 people, if that, at most a day. And then you'll get processed then, what they're about to go through. But you'll still get a lot of attention, but it won't be as insane because there's just not a bunch of people. So I guess that's kind of nice. And then you will stand by until nighttime when everyone else comes and you get placed in division with them.
We want to put them in a stressful environment to show them that even though it might be stressful for them, they can get through it.
You're moving too slow!
And then it kind of like sets the tone for the rest of training.
So the stressful environment is because it teaches you to operate under stress. It teaches this mentality where civilians, it's, not to knock anything. I mean, we were all civilians at one point before we entered the Navy, but it's different. When you go into the business world as a civilian, there's a cordial sense of when you're a customer or something like that, you feel like you deserve something. And that's true. That is exactly how that works. That's not true in the military. You are told what to do and you do it. If you don't like being told what to do and then being yelled at for not doing it right, you probably shouldn't join any military branch. But yeah, it's stress. It teaches you to operate under stress. If you can, someone could yell at you in your face and stress you out about folding a shirt and you do it correctly to all the exact way it's supposed to be done and the exact measurements and put away properly, then it teaches you to operate with specific instructions and a set amount of time in a stressful environment. And it's training your mind to work that way, so that when you're in a stressful environment, in a real world environment, whether it be a fire or flooding or you got to fire your weapon, you're already at least got a little bit of a callousness to that idea of being overwhelmed so that you can operate properly. So it just teaches you right from the beginning. Plus, it's easier to move people quickly when they're civilians coming into the Navy first day. When you yell at them, they usually just do it. It's not everyone's yelled every day in their life.
What the are you looking at, guy? Where did I tell you to look? Where? Where did I tell you to look? Welcome to Recruit Training Command. I'm Chief Walters. I'll be one of your facilitators this evening. When I tell you to, you will remove your cell phone. You're going to call home, call your parents, call your recruiter, I don't care who, but you're going to let them know that you arrived here safely. You have 1 minute, go.
What up, man? Hey, I just made it in.
I don't have long to speak, but I just want to tell you that I made it safely, but I'm okay.
You have 45 seconds, hurry up!
I'll get through it. I gotta go, Mom.
I called my mom. It was definitely emotional, though, because you kind of know that's the last time you're going to be able to contact your family for a little bit.
Some people ask, what if I don't have a cell phone, or you didn't feel like bringing your cell phone? Just use the person. They'll just say, hey, can I ask the person next to you if you can use a cell phone to call home? So if you're going to use someone else's cell phone, and plus you're not going to have your cell phone in boot camp, I recommend writing down the numbers of the people you would like to contact throughout boot camp, which is something you could totally bring. You could bring an address book. It'll let you keep it. They're going to go through to make sure you don't have any like weird things in there. But as long as it's just filled with names and numbers and stuff, that's fine. And because you're going to be using a payphone while you're at boot camp, that way you can just call home. It's no big deal. Just use the cell phone of the person next to you. But if you do bring your stuff, your personal items, like your cell phones and stuff like that, and you like the shirt you're wearing, then you put it in a box and they put it in storage. And then when you graduate boot camp, they give it back to you.
Love you very much. You guys have a good one. Bye.
You understand the words coming out of my mouth? Yeah. Who are you saying yep to? It's yes, Chief. What is your problem, guy? What is your problem? Why are you moving so slow? You're on my time now, not your time. Hurry up!
It was brutal, I won't lie. It was a culture shock. You are learning pretty much how to be a new human.
You do not know what the you're supposed to be doing at any given time. You will stand at attention until told to do otherwise. At no point in time will you look a staff member in the eyes. That's rude and disrespectful, and that's the quickest way to piss us off. Is that
So, in short, a lot of the military branches say the best motto of every branch is "hurry up and wait." It's used for a lot of things, but get used to the idea too. You might just be sitting around doing nothing. If you're someone that can't last more than 5 minutes without your phone, you're gonna have a big wake-up call. You learn to actually just live without it. You'll be focused. There's a lot of things you could be studying. You'll be working throughout the day or in classes throughout the day. So you don't have to worry about that. But once again, you're coming to boot camp, so don't expect to be able to jump on your phone at any point. Get used to the idea of standing watch, where it's gonna be boring sometimes, and you'll look at the clock and then you'll think 10 minutes went by. You look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I think the time went backwards. It just happens. It's a mentality you actually learn by being in the military.